Hi guys, my hair is a mess. Well, uh-oh. What's the uh-oh? What's the uh-oh? I don't understand. Don't understand. What's the uh-oh? Is it my hair? Oh! Yeah, because I wasn't in live. I was giving out invites. Hi, Sophia Perez. So, before we start live, I want that's weird, Ross. That's weird. I want to address something real quick. In the last live, we had several people who decided to be rude, or they were just being, I don't know, dumb. Anyway, they got themselves, yeah, they were trolls. And they got themselves put into timeout. Yeah, you did. You missed it. But man, people. And I'll make this announcement again once we get other people in. Hi Sophie, I'm still sick. No, they were just timed out. But if you come into my live and you're acting dumb or you're acting silly or whatever the case may be, the timeout is a warning. Okay. Awesome, Sophie. Thank you. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself because you're the reason you got timed out. So, just putting it on you for a second. Let me get to the script because it's going to be the same script. But I'm going to let you guys sort of dictate the way the chat goes, as always, for this evening. So it is a little bit different because I did not make any changes to it. I want them to come back. My exact words to him was, this guy told me that he didn't do anything. Well, if you didn't do anything, then why were you timed out? So, we seem to be hyper focused on bears. But human wildlife coexistence can be between any animals and humans. It could be deer. It could be bears. It could be hyenas. No, seriously, it could be. It could be proboscis monkeys. Or coyotes. Or whatever this is. No, it probably couldn't be mastodon. But you could have fish eagles as neighbors. The point is, we have to learn to live beside them. Yes. Yes, I have. But we live in an era where people either like wildlife or they hate wildlife. Yeah, bears can be scary. I've never had an encounter other than maybe seeing two in the wild. But yeah. We also live in a world where people are working towards reintroductions. We have reintroductions, believe it or not, going on with wolves and other animals across the globe. And so, yeah. But at the same time that we're doing all of this great conservation stuff, we are pushing and pushing and pushing wildlife every which way. And then we get upset or surprised when wildlife shows up in places where we think it shouldn't be. So I started off last time. Oh, sorry. I started off last time talking about ranchers and farmers and dealing with predators. It's an issue. I think in North America, in some places, if a predator gets an animal, it may be just for ranchers, but if an animal gets a hold of one of their animals, they can take I don't want to call it a write-off, but they can get money, they can be reimbursed, I believe, for that animal. Let's see, am I right? And note to moderators, I do not have Facebook open yet. Yes, so if they have a loss from a predator, they can be compensated. Which I think is a good thing. I think it helps with ranchers. I don't know if it helps with everything, though. So just, yeah. And apparently, measles is now in Houston. Sorry, didn't mean to go there. Oh, why? I thought I'd fix that. I heard it was in Kentucky. Can we recreate Jurassic Park? Captain E.T., many, many years ago, I heard the only thing stopping us from opening Jurassic Park was our ability to ethically open it. Whoa! Thank you, Haley. But that was many years ago. And now, yeah, meaning, do we bring animals like dinosaurs to life? And now we are bringing mammoths to life. So, there could be a health risk. I don't think this is Nature Guy's take on it. I don't believe that we should bring back an animal that was already extinct. But I don't know. Wait. Guys, I'm sorry. I still have a little bit of mind cloudiness. We have the ability to clone life. We're proving that. Animals escape. It's happened in zoos. When you have an animal running around that doesn't belong in our day and time, it's crazy. Remember, we have to have good DNA, and we can't use frogs. Frogs don't work. Lizards will not work. But we need to get back on topic, y'all. Have I answered everybody's questions? I hope so. Okay, back to our topic on hand. Yeah, but I don't think... Yeah. I mean, Florida, but I think that was on purpose. Florida has wild monkeys. I don't know if you guys know that or not. For a second, though, we are going to talk about predators. So, farmers and ranchers have to deal with predators. No, I think the monkeys that are in Florida are actually scientists. We're to blame for that one. I mean, they could be circus animal escapees, but yeah. When a predator is on the loose or in the area of somebody's house or farm and they nab an animal, that is sad. That's incredibly sad. But at the same time, animals can get sick. Predators can get sick. Predators can get injured. The sad fact is that when an animal gets injured or sick, they are not going to be hunting their normal food. They're either going to die from that injury or they're going to go after easier meals. We've seen this in Africa. The difference is in Africa, they have a lot of people and they have larger predators. A easy meal for some predators might include farm animals. Ladies and gentlemen, I am no fool. I know humans, and I'm going to leave you with that because I think if you put humans and predators in the same sentence, hopefully you get the message. A female with pups or kittens might decide to have an easy meal. Farm animals might be an easy target. Hi, Learqua. Did I pronounce that right? I hope so. Hello, how are you? Awesome. I probably won't the next time. But one of the things that I love to see are people that make use of animals. Donkeys, llamas, dogs make wonderful livestock guarding animals. Great Pyrenees is one breed of dog that is an amazing animal guard dog. You get a puppy, you raise them up around the animals, you teach them, you work with them, and they become awesome guard dogs. You have to be responsible enough that if you do hear the animals barking, that you react and not necessarily to kill the animal, but to chase them off. That could be as simple as firing blanks off. I don't know, from my book, if it means keeping my flock, my investment alive, and I'm looking at selling my animals, I want to protect my interest. So having that companion animal is a payoff. Thanks, I love Titan. We need to work with other animals as well. Farmers. Electric fences might work. A little hot wire to keep them off. Barbed wire might work. You got to remember though, some animals can jump. A fence may not keep out a cougar. but it might keep out a bear. Farmers, here's some ideas for you. I understand deer can pass diseases, but if you are just growing crops, after your field has been harvested, open your fields up to wildlife. And some farmers do. They will allow animals to come in and feed. We are talking about the same thing we talked about earlier, and that is human wildlife coexistence. Another thing you can do, and these are you'll see this very popular from what I understand, and I could be wrong. Hedgerows. Hedgerows are sections of fields where instead of having like the field and then maybe a ditch and then maybe a road, it would be planted. They may have hawthorns, which hawthorns are pretty amazing plants because they can have spines. And or some around here you might see Osage oranges growing. Osage oranges have a big brain looking green fruit that is inedible. But it also has spines and very, very hard wood. These give wildlife a place to live and to hunt and all of this stuff, as well as providing not just a place for them to live, but if you think about it, the right birds are nesting in that hedgerow. It also gives a place for, oh, I'm sure there are. I don't know what kind, but there has to be. That I don't know. I'm sure there's a no man land. I'm sure there's a no man's land. Yes, Cook. Cook, I want you to know that for once, I wish, never mind, I can't say that. But I'm on your guys' side on this. I personally don't agree with what was done. I wish they would have handled it differently, and they didn't. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't feel like you need to, Ross. I'm not gonna get into that. If you want to know, it made the news in the United States, probably around the world. It involved my president and the president of the Ukraine. So we're going to move on from that. Yeah, Carol, it might a little bit be inappropriate, but I want him to know that as an American citizen, that I regret what happened. And we're going to move on. So hedgerows are really important. And there's Not a problem. Depending upon where you live, sort of dictates what animals might make a call to your farm. And to those of you in my subscriber list, if you don't agree with that, don't leave the channel. Don't get upset with me. Just know that wildlife is #1 on this channel. So depending upon the animals that live around you, that may dictate how you react to animals in your area. Homeowners, you have to really coexist with wildlife more so than anybody else, because some of us live in areas that are out in the boondocks. Oh, I know. And we have done a whole series on wildlife and how to protect yourselves and all that stuff. That is on my channel, I believe. So if you go into playlist and you look, you'll find it, I'm sure. But a lot of animals can be unwanted guests in our yards. Be mindful of that. It's an insect thing. I don't have an exact answer for that. So the first thing I'm gonna ask you to do is don't feed your animals outside, and I'm gonna give you 3 very good reasons not to do that. Actually, I'm gonna give you at least 2 very good reasons not to do that. I don't know about wolves, but coyotes will take medium to small dogs. I've seen it happen, and it's never pretty. It's never a good thing. Cougars, mountain lions will take small animals too. And it is not the sight that you want your kids to see. So, don't feed your animals outside. And if you, by the same token, don't let your animals be outside without you being there. Because exactly for the reason that Carol said, these predators will feed on your animals. You may think you're doing a good thing by feeding your animals outside for whatever reason, but if you leave the food in the bowls after they're done, you are allowing, especially if your fence is, especially if your yard is not fenced in, these animals can come in and start feeding, and then you are at a loss. So don't do that. These animals coming in and eating out of the bowls could spread diseases to your animals. Foxes and coyotes can spread distemper. So can raccoons. I don't know about skunks, but I know raccoons. And they can also spread rabies. So be aware of that. You may not be too worried about squirrels or maybe raccoons, but raccoons also carry something that comes out in their feces, and it is a worm, I believe it's a worm, that if it gets into the human body, is a very, 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 can't stress this enough, very dangerous parasite in humans. I'm not suggesting that if you see a raccoon, you should unlive it, but I'm saying be careful. Wash your hands. So don't leave your food bowls outside. Secure your garbage cans. Raccoons and bears. Little kids are weird, bud. I don't think it's as much adults you have to worry about, but I think people. I will tell you this. Let me just say that polar bears, not people friendly. Black bears, not people friendly. Brown bears, not people friendly. They, especially polar bears are not looking to be friends. You might get lucky, but if a polar bear is knocking at your door, he's not there to be friends. So if you're feeding polar bears, you're doing a misservice. Well, that's good, Ross. Drifty Elite. Language. And if this isn't entertaining, leave. And watch your mouth. Not the place. I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to educate. And from the sound of it, you need to be educated. So stick around. Was that sassy enough for you? What's the warmed penguin? I don't know. Oh, that reminds me. Penguins don't live in the North Pole, so we got that covered. These guys... I gotta check something. So, black bears are really super smart, y'all. They will get into your garbage. They can get into your homes. Don't into your cars. Clean up your garbage and you'll be fine. Don't Ooh, Captain E.T. Well, see, that's the thing. They don't want to be picked up. You might. You might survive a grizzly bear attack. Moderator, I'm going to need your help. Hey, Abigail, my phone. Oh, I see it. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. My phone is acting up again. And I don't have a problem with you guys talking amongst yourselves because I know you're listening. Yeah, it's paid. Okay. I was having problems with messages not showing up. Drifty Elite, do not tell my moderators to chill. They're doing their jobs. You don't want me to say the magic words. That's what I knew was going to happen. I knew it. They just never learn. They just never learn. So yeah, black bears will get into bird feeders. I'm going to mess up your name. Freen next. They will get into your garbage cans and your bird feeders. And the worst part about them is they are just as dangerous as a brown bear. Okay. Last area and this area that I want to hit on are your kids. Little kids should never be left outside by themselves. That makes perfect sense because why would you want to have your kids, your little kids, outside with a black bear or a coyote or a cougar? May not be so much of an issue with wolves. But are other large predators? He didn't get banned. He did not get banned. So don't even go there. And polar bears, they are not kid friendly. So if you live in the United States or Europe has more brown bears than we do. If you leave your kids outside and these animals live within your area and you leave them unsupervised, yep, things happen. And it is not good. So don't be a parent that leaves your kids outside unattended. Okay, you have another account. That's great, but don't come in here and causing problems. Exactly. And little kids will run. And when you run, like, for example, deer, cougar, deer sees cougar, and they start running. That sets the cougar into chase, and it does not usually end well. So be careful with that. If you grow fruit trees, that's a possibility. Yeah, but this new guy that came in, Carol, this Duke Glory that came in is the same guy. It does make me wonder. It makes me wonder about these people that have gone missing in the national parks. Polar bears sometimes have a yellowish tinge to them. And I suppose a spirit bear might also, at times. Colt, I don't go hunting. I have absolutely no reason to go hunting. Am I against hunting? No, I'm not. I'm against sport hunting. I'm against killing an animal just so you can put its head up on a board and get its. I'm against sport hunting where you kill an animal, taxidermy it, and put it up in your house as some sort of prize. I'm against that. I'm not against a guy or a woman going out and killing an animal for the sake of food. If after that you want to display the antlers, that's great. But hunting in and of itself, no. As long as you realize that you're paying homage to it. Am I vegan? No, I am not vegan. Never will be. Hi, Jurassic Edits. No. I'm not vegan. If you are vegan, that's awesome. I completely 100% think that's amazing, but I am not. Actually, tonight, I don't know if we do. But I mean, that's a possibility. Moving on. Well, I can tell you that there are sources of I have seen people out sport hunting, and I don't know if it's like doctored footage. Gosh darn it. I don't know if it's footage that has been doctored or not, but I've seen times I've been in places. Troy Gaines, why does it sound like a bunch of mumbo jumbo? I've been sick. My brain is not necessarily where it should be. So if it does sound like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, leave. Where sport hunters have gone out in Africa and it's backfired on them. They were out hunting lions and they had bagged one lion already. What they failed to remember is that sometimes I never said hunting was bad. Anybody in live, did I say that hunting was bad? Moderators, did I say hunting was bad? Thank you. Thank you. In the process of killing the one lion, they forgot to realize that sometimes, yeah, I think sports hunters need to re-examine themselves. And I'm not saying that accidents don't happen, but sometimes I've seen people where they go off and they go hunting for a lion and they forget that lions will work in coalitions. Bye, Captain E.T. I didn't know you were leaving. Bye. I thought you were telling somebody bye. Another male lion will come up behind them and decide to take a bite. I see it as vengeance. And animals are not dumb. I have seen an animal save kids' lives. An animal that is dumb is not going to do that. I agree. Some animals are not the smartest animals. But they don't have to be. They're not people. Animals don't play by our rules. There was a child in Colorado, got lost in the woods. It got cold. Oops. Were you guys able to see my messages? Now, I'm not saying that every animal is going to do that. But I'll tell you what, when you look at... No. Not usually, no. But I can tell you this much, what I do know. Animals know. They somehow know if an animal, if a human is dangerous or not. Now, some animals are going to look at you and they're going to think, oh, there's food. Other animals, not so much. Wolves, especially in like India, have been known to raise kids. Mowgli, great example of that. That, Marie, I think you hit the nail on the haystack. Now, the situation in Colorado, very different. Because when they found the boy had fallen asleep underneath the tree, and when he woke up and was... No, he was still sleeping, I think, when they found him. When they found him, you could see in the snow that had fallen where the elk had been sitting. I'm old enough to be old, but not too old. No, Mowgli was raised by wolves. I'm live. So, animals know, I think. Look it up. It's probably on... How do I do this? Um... I'm sure if you went in and searched, you could find where they talk about him. I'm not finding it right now. But I know it's there. You know, I can't find it, but I know I've seen it. Ross, I don't think it's good for kids to be raised by animals. But I think animals, I think it's better than a kid dying. Emotionally, it's not good for kids, but whatever. This thing says I've been live for 7 minutes. It restarted my live. Gosh darn it. Oh, great. Yeah. Ross, I don't think there's a way to know that. So, other things you could do as a owner of a yard, if you like nature and you have hummingbirds in your area, put out hummingbird feeders, but also plant native. Having native flowers for these animals, so much better than putting out syrup for them. Having native shrubs that they can nest in or get berries from, even better. Remember, though, you want to keep a clean area because other animals eat those berries too, not just birds. Which brings up the next question, brings up the next issue. You don't want to have a mess that's going to attract rodents. Because if you live in certain areas, that can mean bigger problems than the predators, although that can attract predators too. It's also going to bring in snakes. So if you clean up, like don't have boards laying in your yard. A wood pile. Keep wood piles away from the house. Because that's going to give rodents a place to hide. get away and get into the house. I know my dinner is ready, guys, but again, and I've talked about this 1,000,000 times on this channel. I'm going to talk about it again. Okay, Ross, thank you for coming in. No. Know what is around your area. That's going to help you out. Me too. Knowing what's in your area is going to help you out immensely. Like for me, I know that I don't have cougars in my area that I know of. I don't have black bears. I don't have wolves. But I do have coyotes. And my yard is not fenced in. So, take that with a grain of salt. I have deer that live in my area. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning one night and looked out my window, and on the back street, there were 3 of them walking down the street like they owned the place. Know what snakes live in your area. That way you know which ones are poisonous, which ones are not. Having a dog, a big dog, might help you out. If you hear barking at night and your dog is outside, check it out. It might be people, it might be a car going down the street. Check and see why they're barking. You don't have to open up the door to do that, though. If you want to attract butterflies, easy. Find out what plants in your area are used by butterflies to feed their babies. Then plant those plants. You don't just have to plant milkweeds. We're not going to do the mosquitoes, but I do have suggestions for you. These are just sort of random. And we've already hit on them a little bit. Am I back to not seeing messages? Oh, I agree. I think milkweed should be planted. I'm just saying that it's not the only plant that you can plant. Don't leave food sitting outside for your dog or cat. Don't leave small to medium-sized dogs and or cats outside by themselves. Clean up your grill. Store your garbage cans in the garage. Don't make it easy for them to gain access to your livestock. Install motion-sensitive lights or invest in a livestock dog. Remove or don't plant bushes that can be used by predators of any kind to hide behind, especially out west, maybe out east or down south. In my area, you might have a coyote, but teach your kids to know what's okay and what's not okay. You can teach them about predators that live in your area. Teach them if they are outside to come inside if they see something. Teach them what snakes are bad or good. Don't just teach them to be afraid of snakes. Don't allow little kids to be outside by themselves. multiple reasons for that one. Don't even get me going. Your best defense is being alert. If your dogs are barking, don't ignore it. If you have a hunch that something is up, react. Number one most important thing is you don't want to surprise a predator. To coexist with nature, we need to learn about it, we need to understand it, and we need to be aware of what's around us. Not only for our safety, come on, but for the safety of our kids and our pets. But it's also important. It's important to understand what's around us so we can better understand how to live with it. It's important to live with them, and with them I mean with wildlife, and to spread the word amongst our friends. Bottom line, you're going to encounter wildlife, and you need to decide how you're going to react. Are you going to prepare for an eventual encounter? If you're going to go hiking, be ready. Every encounter is going to be different depending upon the variables that I can't even begin to hash out here in live. But if you encounter an animal with babies, time to get out of there. Don't run. Don't turn your back. Just walk slowly out of there. That is not the time to be snapping pictures. Remember, space is always best. Keep your animals on leashes. Don't approach an animal. And don't feed wild animals. Just don't do it. Don't feed alligators. Don't feed crocodiles. Don't feed bears. Don't feed wolves. Just don't do it. Do make memories, but do it safely. And if you see an animal acting strangely, by golly, report it. I want you to get out and explore, but I want you to head out safely. I also don't want your animals to get hurt. So yeah, that's all I have to say, guys. I am going to sign off because I'm hungry. So I will see you, I promise, tomorrow in the next one. Goodbye. Bye, everybody. Thank you, my moderators. Couldn't do this without you. Love you. Bye-bye. Yeah, don't feed them bread.